Okay, so tonight we're still talking about GoPro, and we're talking about skill number 3 and number 4. We've already talked about the first skill, which is inviting prospects, and we talked about some places that you can find people, volunteering, meetup.com, just networking on purpose and creating a hundreds list. We also talked about how to create a professional invitation, which is 8 steps to be in a hurry, to compliment the prospect, to make the invitation, and do an if I would you, confirm the time several times, and then get off the phone or away from them. So it would look something like, hey, I don't have a whole lot of time right now, but I've really admired how much you like to help people, and I think that because you like to help people so much, you would be really great at this opportunity that I have. If I sent you this DVD or this video, would you watch it? Then when they say yes, you would say, okay, when do you think you could have it watched by? They say Tuesday. You say, great, I'll call you. So if I call you on Wednesday morning, then you'll have had it watched. And they'll say yes. And then what is the best way to get in touch with you on Wednesday morning? I will call you Wednesday morning to talk about the DVD. All right, I've got to go to this meeting. I'll talk to you later. And that's how to create the professional invitation. So now that they've watched your video or whatever DVD or whatever it is that you sent them and you're following up with them, now you need to make your presentation. Things to remember with your presentation is that it's not about you, it's about the product or the opportunity. You do not have to be an expert, and as a matter of fact, it's not good to be an expert because when you seem like you know everything, people become skeptical, and also it's not duplicatable. So everything has to duplicate, and the reason for that is that so that when people are thinking about whether or not they can join you in the opportunity, they need to know if it's something they can do. If you seem like an expert and that you know everything, then they're going to think in their mind, I'll never know all that. I'll never be that good. I'll never be an expert. I can't do this. But if you keep it very simple, let the third-party tools do the work, then it will duplicate, and people will be able to do it. In network marketing, it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates. I'm going to read a little paragraph from the book about what pros do. The pros use tools instead of their own wisdom. The pros use live events instead of their own presentations. The pros use other distributors to give the facts instead of giving themselves. The pros don't present themselves as experts. They just invite people to learn more about the product or opportunity and let the third-party resource provide the information. The pros bring passion, enthusiasm, excitement, and belief. If you ever watch a pro at work, you'll see the fire in them that is contagious. Make passion, enthusiasm, excitement, and belief your priority, then invite professionally and let the third-party resource do the rest. So we've talked about third-party resource being, we have the party pad. You might get them on a Google Hangout like this. You might get them on the Monday night Show Me the Money call with Pam Souter is a really good one. People are always telling their stories, and they're really excited on that. You might get them on a 3-way with a couple of people from your upline. You might invite them to a live meeting, which is really, really fun because they get to see other people that are doing the same things as them. So your job is to invite and then get them in front of the third-party tool. Let the third-party tool do the work. So with our company, the third-party tool is, well, let me say this. First, we've talked about your story being important. There's 2 things that you need to master. One of them is your story. So with your story, we talked about these are the 4 things that are important. What is your background? What it is you don't like about it? What the solution is? And how do you feel about the future? So you master that. You write it down, you memorize it, you say it over and over and over and over so that it's just second nature to tell somebody your story. And then you master the presentation. So this is the party pad, and this is what you're going to use every single time you talk to somebody about the wrap or any of our products. And in the eSuite, under the Documents tab, you click Documents, and then you click Marketing Materials, and then you find Party Pad Notes. And this is not printed out, obviously. I did print some things out at my 9 to 5 today and left them at my 9 to 5. So anyway, you can see the lines on this. That's for where to cut it. And it shows you, like, here is page 1. So you're going to cut on the top and bottom, and then you're going to glue or tape or whatever you do those typed notes to the bottom of page 1. Here's 1, page 2. You put the notes right here so that when you're in front of somebody, whether it be a party or a one-on-one, you are reading those notes, and that person who was thinking about becoming a distributor is like, well, I can read, so I can read these notes just the way that she can. And so you just go, and you can even use your finger, point to it, show them that you are reading this. And in those notes, it gives you a couple of ideas of things you can do. Like on this page, it says to take out a dry wrap. So a dry wrap is one that you've used before. When you get done using it, you leave it out to dry. You might rinse off some of the cream, whatever cream is left over, and leave it out to dry. I carry one in my purse so that when people are like, what is that wrap, I can pull it out and show it to them. And so one of the suggestions on this page is that you show them how it can be cut to put on your arms or your chin. You show them you can wear it on your back. And then after that, you go to the next page and you just literally read the bullets. And so all the notes that are in the document, no, I'm not saying that right. Everything you need to know are in the Party Pad notes in the document section of the eSuite. So really, you know, if you're not local to your upline, you really can do a party on your own. It's nerve-wracking, but you have to get out of your comfort zone in this business anyway. So as long as you just follow the notes, you can handle it. So this is our go-to third-party tool with It Works. One side is about products, and the other side is about joining the party, and it goes over the opportunity and what people need to do. I am going to be making a video of this so that I can send to potentials real soon. Probably not till after Sunday, because I have a lot of work to get prepared for that. But afterwards, I'm going to, and I'll share that with y'all when I do. Okay. So those are the two things that you need to have when you're presenting your story and master your own company's presentation, which is our Party Pad. And then the 3 things that you need to remember with presenting are that you are not the message. You are only the messenger. So with the Party Pad, point, read, flip. Point, read, flip. The second thing you need to remember is to learn your story in a way that makes your prospects curious to hear more. So when I tell my story, I tell them how I'm a pre-K teacher, how I really love working with the children, but I'm overworked and underpaid and I don't feel appreciated, and it's just not something I feel like I can do for the rest of my life. And I'm really excited because I've found this opportunity with It Works, and it's my vehicle to live out my dreams, and I'm really excited about what the future holds because I'm helping all these people earn more money, and I'm helping all these people get healthy. And so then they want to know, why are you able to achieve your dreams with It Works? Why? What are you doing that's making people more money? So they're getting curious. The third thing you need to remember is that when it comes to presenting in front of a group of people, preparation is key. So I'm doing a presentation this Sunday at OTOM. My plan, first of all, I'm already started preparing by training you guys because I'm presenting this material. Then I'm going to be making a PowerPoint this week, so I'm going over what I'm going to say again. And then Saturday, my intention is to do that presentation 3, 4, 5 times in front of a mirror. Number 1, to make sure my time is right and I don't go over my 15 minutes. And number 2, to make sure I know what I'm talking about, so I'm not constantly looking at notes, and I'll probably still will look at notes, but at least I'll feel more comfortable and knowledgeable in what I'm saying. So that's why I say to tell your story over and over. Write it, memorize it. Eric Worre talks about when he did his, he wrote down, he watched his upline's presentation, wrote it down word for word, recorded himself saying the exact same thing word for word, and then listened to it every single day, several times a day. until he had the thing memorized. And then that way, anytime he had to get up and say the presentation, no matter where he was at, if it was on the spot, whatever, he was ready. He knew the presentation. So when you're prepared, it's fun. You're not scared. The next skill number 4, is following up. I don't know how many times you've heard this, but I can promise you that the fortune is in the follow-up. You follow up with people until they say, leave me alone. Most people do not say, leave me alone. People need an average of 4 to 6 exposures before they actually act. And that's an average. So some people only need 2 exposures. Some people need 12 exposures. And your job is to continually expose them over and over and over. I was talking to y'all about that Go for No book. I've listened to it for the second time since I got it. And he talks about his goal was to get 5 no's from every single prospect. So that means you say somebody likes your Facebook post, and so you message them and you say, oh, thanks for the love of my Facebook post. Are you interested in what I do? That's your first exposure. And say they say no. Well, then you follow up with them a few days later, and maybe you'll say something like, I know you're not interested in the opportunity, but I would love a chance to talk to you about the products. And they say no. Well, now you've got 2 no's from them. You still need 3 more. By the time you get to number 5, they may really say, leave me alone, or they may say, okay, let me hear about it. So you're following up. Following up is just doing what you said you were going to do. You know, when you invite somebody and you say, I'm going to follow up with you on Wednesday and make sure to see if you have any questions about that video I sent you, then follow up on Wednesday. Don't tell them you're going to do it and then don't do it. They won't have any respect for you. So don't be afraid to follow up either, because you said you're going to, and they're expecting it. All right, here's another one. Is the only reason to expose someone to what you have is to lead to the next exposure. So if you change your mindset from, I'm going to close this person today, this person's going to become my loyal customer today, to I'm going to expose this person today and I'm going to set up a time to expose them again. So then you're getting them in front of those 4 to 6 exposures. Change your mindset from trying to land the deal every single time you talk to them to, let me see when's the next time I can expose them. So when you're following up with them, when you're trying to make more exposures, good questions to ask. What did you like best about the product? So I'm going to give an example of what I'm going to get another loyal customer today. I think this evening she's signing up. And I think I've exposed her 3 to 4 times. But I emailed her. She was interested in the skincare, so I told her it would be best for me to explain all of it in the email and send her product information sheets along with it. So I did that. I explained exactly what I use with all the skincare every day, explained what the products were, told her which ones that I thought were most important, and left it at that. I waited a day, and then I messaged her on Facebook. And so the question is, what do you like best about what I sent you? Same thing when people, you sell them a wrap, and you don't actually wrap them. Then they do the wrap themselves, you follow up. What did you like best about the wrap? It makes them answer you back, and it gives them something very positive. Instead of saying, what did you think about it? Well, what if they didn't like it? Then they're going to come back super negative. If you say, what do you like best about it? I can guarantee you everybody likes the way that it feels. Everybody likes the tingle. I can't see how you don't. And so they're going to come back with at least something like that. I like the way it tingled. I like the way it makes my skin feel. They're not going to, they have to say something because you asked, what do you like best? You're expecting them to like something about it. And so then you can use their answer and kind of go from there and set up another exposure. Another good one to set up a next exposure is on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the least interested and 10 being the most interested, where are you on wanting more, getting started right now? And that can be for a loyal customer or distributor. And most people are going to give you a number around 5 or 6. And so then your next question is, okay, what can I do to get you closer to a 10. And so they might want to try the product. They might want to talk to their husband or their wife. They might want to learn more about how they're going to get paid. So if they want to try the product, then your next exposure is setting up a time when they can sample it. Or if they want to talk to their spouse, your next exposure is, okay, when do you think you're going to be able to talk to your spouse? Okay, I will call you on whenever they say. And then that when you call them again, that's your next exposure. If they want to know more about how to get paid, the compensation plan, then you set up a time to talk with them about that. So then after that exposure, you can do it again. What did you like best about the compensation plan? On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you now? What can I do to get you closer? And so you're continually exposing them to your product or opportunity. So the other concept with that is that professionals will condense the exposures into a shorter amount of time. So you don't want to have, okay, I'm going to show you this video and I'm going to wait a week and a half or 2 weeks to call you, and then I'm going to call you, and another 2 weeks down the line I'm going to have you get on a Google Hangout, and then 2 weeks after that I'm going to have you go to an OTOM, because there's so much life that happens in those 2 weeks. They're completely distracted. They forgot about their last exposure. You want to show them that video, 3 days later, get on the phone with them, 3 days later, 2 days later, and condense all these exposures into a week or two time frame if you can, because it keeps it fresh in their mind. It keeps their questions fresh. It keeps their the things that they love about it fresh. So condense this exposures for better results. You're also going to run into a lot of questions and objections. Your response to the questions and objections is really important, and this is something that I'm learning too. You can't be defensive about it at all. Oh, that rap doesn't work. Oh, that network marketing, that's just a pyramid scheme. And your human nature and tendency, especially when they're talking about something that you love, is to defend it. But what you should do is, oh, that rap doesn't work. Have you had an experience with it? Was your experience bad? Let's chat about what may have went wrong when you were rapping. Instead of being defensive, oh, yes, it does work. You don't know what you're talking about. You must have done it wrong, blah, blah, blah. Just think about how your response is going to make that other person feel and how you would feel if you were, them. Because your goal is to educate and to make them understand. It is not to argue. There are some concepts, let's see. So you want to, the best way to deal with it is to have empathy. And the method is called feel, felt, found. So it's, I know how you feel, I felt that way too, but here's what I found. Like, if somebody says, oh, I'm not a salesman, I don't know how to sell things, you say, you know what, and for me, I can really say this because that's Jessica, I told Jessica the same thing. I felt that way. I know how you feel. I'm not a salesman either. I didn't think that I would be able to do this business because I'm not into sales. And I felt like it wasn't going to be for me. But what I found is that I'm not really selling the product because I love it and I'm just sharing it like I would share my favorite restaurant. So, or if they, if you don't have, like, I don't have the money. If that wasn't your problem, then maybe you know somebody in the company whose issue that was. You know what? I know how you feel. My friend went through the same thing. This is how she felt. This is what she found. In the Grow Pro book, there are some good examples on how to deal with objections, but you don't really need to focus on the exact words to say for the particular objection as long as you remember feel, felt, found. You want to focus on the tactic or the concept rather than an exact script. As long as you can have empathy with the people instead of being defensive, then you're on the right track. You never want to make people feel like stupid when they have a limiting belief about themselves. Like, and you see this on social media quite a bit. They say, "Oh, I don't have the money for that," and then oh, what? Well, do you pay your cable bill? Did you go buy yourself some new clothes? Did you get a manicure? Well, then you must have some money. That's not the way to handle it. The way to handle it is, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. This is what I found. People also, so not only will they have limiting beliefs about themselves, but they're going to have limiting beliefs about network marketing. You're going to find that quite a bit. When somebody has a limiting belief about network marketing, you want to, if you can sense that they are emotional about it, then you want to ask them what the story is. Oh, have you had an experience with an MLM before? Can you tell me about that? And then you can ask them questions like, why do you think it wasn't successful? Do you think network marketing was the problem, or was it maybe that you didn't have the time to put into the business? Maybe your timing wasn't right for you. If you don't feel like there's a lot of emotion, just ask them what their story or what their experience with it is and what they know about network marketing, and then you can explain to them exactly what it is. If they ask you, another thing they're going to ask is how much money you're making. If you're just getting started and you're making a few $100s a month, that's what you can say. You know, right now I just got started, and so I'm supplementing my income with a couple of $100s a month. I'm only working part-time, but I'm really excited because I know I have the potential to really go far and be able to make my dreams come true for my family. Another thing that you're going to hear is this a pyramid scheme? Do not respond with, and a lot of people do this, and I've done it. Don't respond with, oh, corporate America is a pyramid as well. All you need to say is, no, pyramid schemes are illegal and I would never be involved in anything illegal. This exact same thing happened to me on Facebook. I was messaging people, and the girl messaged me back and said, is this a scam? And 3 weeks ago, I would have went off on this whole thing. I probably would have got defensive. I would have had to explain why it wasn't a scam. But instead, I said, no, this isn't a scam. I would never be involved with an illegal scam. And then the girl ended up asking me questions about the company. But if I would have got defensive and went on and on and on and on, she probably would have just never responded to me. So that's about it for those two. I really do think that it's beneficial to get into the GoPro book and look at the objections for skill number 4 and the questions that might come up, just so that you have an idea in your head of some responses that you can give them. And so I would do that and get your story, make sure you have your story, and make sure you're familiar with the party pad and the party pad notes. And that's going to be it for this evening.